Hello, I'm Kenny Lowry. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the plume here at the top and how you can adjust that to increase it, not really decrease it, but you have a flow control on your pump or somewhere in line on your pump, whether it be a ball valve or on most of our pumps you do have flow control. But if you're trying to increase your plume, one way you can do that is if you have a pipe that's slightly smaller than the pipe that's in there, or it could be significantly smaller, but you don't want to increase the plume too much. But if you take a pipe that's slightly smaller than the pipe that's in the top of the boulder there, that we put in there, then you can kind of slide that pipe down into that pipe and you've created a smaller hole, which will increase the plume of water. So this is just right here just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Of course, you'd want to cut that or insert that where it's level or maybe slightly below the pipe that's in that. And you would bond that in there. You can use a variety of epoxies and things like that to bond that in there. And you'll have to kind of hold it until it starts to set up. You don't want this to fall down into the pipe. So you can kind of put that in there, glue it into place, epoxy it into place. Make sure it's the amount of plume that you want. Don't epoxy it in there until you've checked it and make sure you got the amount of plume that you want. But that's one way you can do that. And I'll use my finger here to kind of demonstrate. I'll make this hole smaller. And the smaller I make it, the more that the plume of water shoots up. Now, you don't want to shoot up too much because then you'll increase the splash and then you'll lose a whole bunch of water. So there's a fine line in there to be able to get that plume the way that you want it. That's not something we offer to do for you. You have to do that on your end because we don't know what kind of plume you want. Some people don't want any plume. Some people want a lot of plume. So we never really know what people want. So this is just a recommendation on how we would do it by putting that smaller pipe in there. You might want to paint that black or something so you don't see it. But it's kind of sticking that down into the pipe that's mounted into the boulder will do that for you. And if our jar fountains, kind of same thing with the jar fountains. Most of the time our jar fountains have 3/4 inch copper. And if you put a restrictor on top of that copper pipe that maybe goes from 3/4 to 1/2 inch, that will increase that plume of water on the jar too. There again, you don't want to increase the splash too much. So hopefully that helps, and you can kind of experiment with it before you actually mount it in there and get the right size plume that you want there.